welcome to our guests. For Secretaries Silver and Morton, this marks your first appearance here, so we welcome you to this pit. But for Commissioner Ahern, this hearing marks probably your last appearance before us, and I, for one, and I think I speak for all of us here, want to note with appreciation your 33 years of service to your country. You have been here often. You have worked in this department since its inception and on these issues long before that. And so we want to say thank you for your service. We've often relied upon you to explain the intricacies of CBP's vast mission. We're truly grateful for the noteworthy achievements and your efforts to improve security while also promoting legitimate travel and trade. While you've been at the department in that position, the budget of CPB is mushroomed. I think perhaps doubled or more during your tenure. So you have presided over dramatic changes in the way we provide security for the country. Thank you much for your service. As the chairman noted, it was 7 months ago that this subcommittee convened a hearing on the Mexican drug war. And since that hearing in March, DHS and its law enforcement partners have endeavored to further disrupt the drug cartels as well as secure our borders. But in spite of notable efforts by our brave law enforcement and security professionals in the field, and the sustained courage of the Mexican government, the cartels continue to operate with near impunity. The total number of drug-related murders in Mexico through October of this year was about 7,000. That surpasses last year's total of 6,400 and is on pace to reach nearly 9,000 murders by the end of the year. And in Juarez, the Mexican border city just south of El Paso, the number of drug-related murders resulting from cartel infighting has passed 2,000 and is on pace to increase by almost 25% over last year. This increase in murder rate is in spite of the sustained presence of the Mexican military and the replacement of municipal police officers and federal customs officials that failed confidence exams. As demonstrated by several law enforcement actions by our Justice Department this year, the cartel's distribution networks touch nearly every city in the United States, and their methamphetamine operations now span the entire west coast of North America, infecting our northern border with Canada as well. And despite DHS's outbound inspection efforts at our ports of entry and along our rail lines, the cartels continue to obtain weapons and revenue from multiple sources. And they were even so bold as to not hesitate to kill one of our own Border Patrol's finest back in July. If there's one thing I'm certain of from my time as a state prosecutor and my years in Congress, it's that drugs pose a grave and unrelenting threat to the health, safety, and security of the United States. Therefore, we must do all that we can to secure our border, thwart these cartels, and put a stop to their savage criminality and murderous ways. Now, as I said back in March, the escalation in violence and territorial infighting over smuggling routes suggests that efforts to improve our border security, coupled with the noteworthy actions of Mexico's leadership, have most certainly gotten the cartel's attention. Unfortunately, this also means things might even get worse before they get better. So the challenge being presented to DHS by this drug war is clear. My question is whether or not we are up to the challenge. And when I pose this question, I am not wondering whether we have the proper resources in place to just disrupt this organized crime. I'm wondering whether we have the tools and the will to actually break its back. Now, I realize that's a mighty tough chore, but I'm quite certain it's a worthy fight. After all, counter-smuggling is perhaps our nation's oldest Homeland Security mission, spanning back to the days of Alexander Hamilton and his recognition for the need to establish a customs service in what is now our Coast Guard. And so today, I'm not only interested in merely assessing our progress in taking this fight to the cartels, I'm interested in learning about what more we can do in terms of resources and authority to combat and deter this clear and present threat to the United States and its citizens. I ask these questions in part because I have serious concerns over the administration's direction on so-called immigration reform, worksite enforcement, DHS operational funding, and the like. Subjects not on the agenda here today, but certainly inescapably tied to our ability to secure our nation, strengthen our border, and protect our people. We must get securing our border and stopping this drug menace right before we entertain new, costly ideas or roll back our immigration laws. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I look forward to today's discussion.